What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Geek Cypher here on Free X Agents Media. And if I'm not mistaken, you can watch us on geekcypher.com. You can watch us on twitch.tv/geekcypher. You can watch us tomorrow. You might be watching us live. You might have watched this 2 days ago because you somehow have a spatial time control and you are in the future. In any case, thank you for joining us on this wicked and awesome day. Wednesdays.
Yep.
I've always wanted to use Socrates as a track called Wednesday.
Oh.
And I always, one day I'm going to ask him if we can just use that as our intro. One day I will reach out to Socrates because I've met Socrates. And I just want to be like, hey man, I just use this damn song for the podcast. Just let me use it, man. It's a good ass song. Okay. You make good music. Let it get played every week at the top of a podcast that people appreciate and like. Thank you, by the way, to everyone who's been tuning in, continues to tune in and whatnot. I'm Brian. I feel like I don't say that often. People might not know. Brian Holiday. We here with Jaws D.
What's up, people?
It's been another fantastic week here in the wild world of Montreal. We do this show from Montreal. I don't know if people know that. Hopefully you do. If you didn't, then welcome. The only reason I'm doing this is because I've noticed new followers on socials and new followers on YouTube and stuff. So I'm like, oh, maybe some people don't know some of the stuff. Like maybe they might have watched one episode. And I realize in the episodes, we don't often say that we're a Montreal-based blurred podcast. We've been doing this since 2017. And, you know, it's just been a lot of fun. And
Before the pandemic,
yeah, pre-pandemic.
We go into a studio.
Yes, we used to do it out of a radio station here in Montreal. I used to be the program director and the hip-hop music director at CJLO in Montreal, and I used to host a hip-hop show, and then that got turned into me wanting to do a nerd segment, and then y'all joined in, and then I was just like, oh, yo, I like doing the nerd segment way more than I like playing hip-hop right now. No offense to hip-hop, but at the time, it was mumble rap, and I just wasn't into that. Yeah. And here we are, years later, still doing this fun, geeky adventure. We're past 400 episodes. We're going to be doing an event at Colors on Saint-Ambroise here in Montreal. The closest metro station, I think, would probably be St. Henry.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. But we're going to have more information about that. We're working on the flyer right now. I came up with like a mock flyer, but then my buddy... what am I saying? My buddy Janessa started working on adding elements and updating elements on the flyer. So we're just waiting to release that. And then, you know, it's not going to be too complicated, but it's going to be food. There's going to be a little bit of drink, a little bit of hang, a little do your thing. Yeah. So, yeah, that's a quick little intro. I might turn that into a clip and just put that at the top of the page.
Yeah,
so people know. Yeah. But yeah, man, I'm getting old.
Everyone's getting old.
I know, man. I gotta say.
Why you're in a little funk? You're in that.
No, it's not. You're checking
the obituary every day, kind of thing.
Knock on wood. No. I just So funny thing, I didn't mean to, but I lost 12 pounds.
Oh, you mean you didn't mean? Okay, sure.
I didn't mean to. Again, this is one of those things where. So I think the last time I mentioned on the pod, I had lost 10 pounds. Okay. So since then, I've lost 3 more pounds. But for me, because my weight has fluctuated, I think of it as 12. Okay. I lost a dozen, not a baker's dozen, just a dozen pounds. And I didn't do anything specific to lose the weight. So that's why I feel like it's an accidental thing. Like I've talked about it on this podcast before. The only thing I did was kind of just stop eating like a jackass.
Yeah, there you go. You'd be surprised how much you cut out.
Yeah, and then
I've been paying attention to what you eat and intaking better stuff.
Sir. Honestly, these fitness people have been saying, "Yo, just watch what you eat." I was like, "But y'all, some of these poutines taste good." Here's the thing about one of the reasons I mentioned Montreal at the top. I feel like y'all need to remember.
Poutine week. All day, every day.
Yeah, that's the thing. Y'all live in cities that don't got gravy, fries, and cheese as its national dish. It's easy for y'all to say, oh, I'm not going to eat like an idiot. Here, if you go to literally any shop in Montreal, whether it's a fast food place, it's a fancy restaurant, it's a hole in the wall, it's a Lebanese place, it's a Mexican place, all of them have poutine. Every last bastard has their own version of poutine that you have to try and avoid, because when you order like a combo at a fast food place, or you go to a restaurant and they give you the option of poutine,
I usually just say no.
Sir, you have a stronger will than I.
When I go to A&W, I usually ask for sweet potato fries for the most time.
Oh, yes, that's fair. I do that at A&W too. But then sometimes I've tried to see if they can make sweet potato poutine fries, and then that turns into a whole mess. Because that's not healthy either.
That's not healthy, and then also the fries aren't strong enough. The sweet potato isn't strong
it gets mushy. It was a mistake, Jaws. I learned my lesson.
I'm gonna make it healthy, but not healthy. As soon as you,
no one said I made sense.
Well, my joke is always that I've heard already that it's not my joke actually. Right. Is that if it tastes good, it's not healthy. If it's got flavor, it's not healthy for you, sir.
And like you know what's annoying about this stuff? It's the other element that's annoying is your taste buds remember. Mm-hmm. So the other day I'm driving and I
remember that first hit,
dude. I weirdly had a craving for a popsicle.
Okay.
No, a freezy, grape freezy.
Right. Oh, okay.
Out of the cold blue, I'm driving. It's not even a hot day. I understand if it was a hot day and my body and my brain said, yeah, we need to cool down. It's hot in these streets. We might need to go have a little freezy, little relaxation, a little ice water and some flavoring. No, it was a cold, rainy day. And for some reason, my taste buds said, you know, it'd be good right now. A grape freezy. I'm like, but sir, why? And it's just like, just because we can. That's the other problem with adulting. The other problem with adulting is
you can do what you want,
dude.
You can do what you want. No one. It's like going to college. You can do what you want, but you failing if you do what you want. If you ain't got no discipline, you flunking out.
I was at work recently, and we were doing like trivia, like team building type trivia thing. And while we were doing it, we all had to list things that we like and don't like, and blah blah. And everyone wrote. You had to write down what were your favorite what was your favorite cereal as a child.
Ooh.
So we all handed it the things, and then our boss is reading out, and everyone had to guess who said which one. So there's like 3 people who said Captain Crunch. Bunch of people saying Captain Crunch. Someone said Fruit Loops. Someone said this, and then someone wrote Rice Krispies.
Really? Wow.
And everyone in the room was just like, "Who the liked Rice Krispies?" Yes, serial killer. That might have to be the title because that's actually perfect. Who is the serial killer? Mm-hmm. So everyone's there trying to figure out who, as a child, wanted Rice Krispies. Jaws, it was me. I had written Rice Krispies because when I was a kid, it was literally my favorite cereal.
But you say Rice Krispies, but you didn't add the extra bit where you put sugar in it?
Okay. So it's funny you say
it's
that.
Like, hey, what's your favorite cereal? Okay, I don't want to seem like a sugar fiend. I'll put cornflakes.
Right.
I pour sugar on it. Like I remember there's a joke. I think The Simpsons. It's like, hey, I got the cornflakes. You ready to put the sugar on it? And they pull the whole bag.
Yeah.
Say when.
But you're not wrong. As soon as when everyone looked at me like I was crazy because they're just like, why did you say Rice Krispies? I was like, yo, I liked Rice Krispies as a kid. And then my boss said, you know what, though? I remember when we were kids, we put sugar on our cereal.
Yeah.
And I was just like, yeah. And they were like, oh, so you had Rice Krispies with sugar on it. You didn't have Captain Crunch, but you had Rice Krispies with sugar, which is probably worse than the Captain Crunch. And I was
I would say Captain Crunch could be a little bit worse because sometimes it cuts the crap out of your.
Oh yeah, true.
I would do a thing where I would put the Captain Crunch with the milk in my mouth and then like kind of suck, and then kind of cut it. You can get those little craggles and stuff.
Yo, man,
the
Captain Crunch and
your gums.
Captain Crunch Corn Pops, 2 cereals that were out for murder. Them shits was
Corn
just
Pops wasn't too bad.
Yo, Corn Pops used to rip up my mouth. I remember
American Corn Pops is weird because it's soft.
Ew.
And I don't And I don't know if it was soft because the
That's
bag went
gross.
bad or that's how it just is. You know, it's just weird. Look at American corn pops. It looks weird. Like it just looks like it actually looks like kind of kernels, but like
Yeah.
It doesn't look
That's
like
weird.
balls. It's very weird.
All this to say, I'm a weirdo is what I learned. I'm also
no one said Golden Grams. No one said
no. It was
what's the
Fruit
other
Loops
one? Lucky
and
Charms.
no, Fruit Loops and Captain Crunch were like the main ones.
Hmm.
I wrote Rice Krispies. Honestly, it was like most of the room said Captain Crunch, and in my head, I was just like, I have to be honest. I don't think I've ever had Captain Crunch in
Neither
my life.
have I don't play with
Yo.
that.
I just realized General Mills, gang.
Oh, is
Both
that-
of those cereals are General
Are
Mills.
they okay?
Okay.
I'm Kellogg's over here
marketing.
with my Rice Krispies.
No
What
Cookie
was that
Crisp.
cereal with? Was that Sugar Combs?
Which one?
The
Oh
one with-
yeah,
the one with the bear in the crew neck, and then later it just turned into it was the one.
That's-
It was the bear in the crew neck, and then
Sugar
it was
Crisp. Sugar Crisp is a crew neck.
crew
Can't
neck.
get enough of that Sugar Crisp. Boo boo boo.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's Sugar
yeah,
Crisp,
but that
cool.
one was shaped kind of like a weird bean.
That was
thing.
like a puff. That was
Yeah.
like a wheat puff, and then there was just a ton of sugar on that.
But honeycombs, is that the one you're talking about?
I'm
The one that was
thinking-
shaped like a,
Yeah, Honeycombs. Which one was that? Was that the Adventurer that later turned on to the Kid Adventurer? That was like
Yes.
an Indiana Jones
Yes,
ripoff?
yes.
okay.
So it was an adventurer. Then he turned into a kid adventure, and then
Yeah.
he turned to a little monster crack fiend.
That's it.
Honeycomb, me want honeycomb.
Honeycomb. Yes.
Oh yeah.
He turned to
Every
a
time the
monster-
guy had honeycomb, you turn into the crackhead, right?
Yeah, like I could go for some honeycomb.
Honeycomb. You want honeycomb? Yes. There it is. Yes. Cereals are wild. Was that which ones are post? Post cereals are kind of nuts.
Post,
Yo, the-
yeah, those. I think all three of those.
Were
Two of
Post.
those. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I think there was Sugar Smacks was another one.
Sugar Smash.
Sugar Crisp. Yeah, those were post.
Fruity Pebbles.
Fruity Pebbles.
Yeah.
Cookie Crisps. We mentioned that. Yeah.
Golden Crisp.
Golden Crisp. Yes.
Yeah.
Lucky Charms. That's just
Wild.
not even cereal.
Love Lucky Charms.
What do you eat? How do you eat that? Is that just soft marshmallow?
No,
There's a like cereal in it.
there is hard pieces of cereal in there. But
Yeah.
what I would do is I would eat a hard piece of cereal first,
Damn.
Oh
you get-
God.
and I would
Just-
take my time. I would
Just
take my time
marshmallow
because I
and
knew
milk.
that the payoff was so worth it in the end. You get to get
That
all
is so much
marshmallow.
sugar.
Yeah, that's
Get all
wild.
that marshmallow, man. I want.
Oh
They
my
did
God.
release an all marshmallow version, obviously for adults, because.
God.
But I was just like that no, like I need to actually feel like I'm having
Yeah.
substance. I can't just have all marshmallow.
At that point, aren't you just eating dessert? Like, let's be honest.
Well, that's like North American breakfast, isn't it? Just all desserts, pancakes, like what
You know, true.
are you even having food, or are you just having dessert and just masquerading it as breakfast?
You know what's crazy about that? Then they want to talk about cholesterol and sugar intake when we're older, and it's like, y'all, fam, what do you like? Look at what you fed us, and you're gonna tell me to eat a vegetable? Suck my listen. Stop it.
Well, I started this off by talking about the fact that I lost 12 pounds
Well,
from just like not eating like a jackass. I know I've said that before, but it's been like biking to work and not eating like a jackass. Like when I bike to work in the morning, usually what I do is I make I buy eggs at the grocery store and I microwave like eggs and put English muffin cheese and ham and make like an English muffin.
Yeah,
and I usually eat like 2
okay.
and then like I don't know, bowl of cereal or something because I'm like, yo, I just
I have
biked
an
it.
English muffin out of that, and what else did you say? Cheese? Okay, cheese.
English muffin, cheese, ham, and the egg, and I made 2 of those.
So that
And
would
sometimes
be
I'd have that with a small bowl of like Rice Krispies or Frosted Flakes because they don't have corn flakes.
Frosted Flakes. This guy. All right.
Oatmeal might be.
So I couldn't.
might be a better choice though.
Wait,
I mean,
oh.
it does take longer though.
Well, here's the thing: I cut out the cereal and I cut the sandwich down to 1, and I'm now pairing it with chocolate milk. half a carton.
Half a carton.
No, like a little carton. No, like
the small one.
Them
The
little
small
things
one.
are
Half a
still
carton. I was
this
like, I thought
big,
you were talking
bro.
about a 2 liter, 3.
Yeah.
No, I'm drinking like 200 milliliters of chocolate
Okay,
milk with the
okay.
sandwich.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Half a carton. Scared me.
No, I'm not talking a liter. I mean, I would down a liter
No,
easy.
just
That's
because
the
you
problem.
can doesn't mean you should.
You know, you want to hear examples of me eating like a jackass? Back in the day, my buddy and I, when I was living in the West Island, I hate the West Island. When I was living in
Don't do that.
Every time. It's like when you know when some people from like hate another country and they spit. I have to be like, I'm not spitting, but at least let me say I hate it,
bro.
Yeah, let me say I hate it.
Name and you spit.
I have more of
You
appreciation
name
for
in
the
your
West
mouth.
Island.
No, I was in the West Island. I hate the West Island, and my buddy and I used to go to Little Caesars because they had the $9.99
Oh my god,
pizza.
Worst pizza.
And
pizza.
Yeah, it was a good pizza, but we were broke Staples employees, so
that $10.
Yeah, it's $10, $11.50.
You get a full medium ass pizza.
A full medium ass pepperoni pizza for $11.50 and a 1 liter chocolate milk for like $2. And I would go to my buddy's house.
They were giving it away back then, man.
Yo,
and I was dairy.
And my buddy, yeah, it's a lot of dairy. Whatever enzyme is in my body is probably just like, listen, I did all the work I did in your life. You don't got me no more. I'm leaving your ass, Brian. I'm gone. Anyways, so
treat me right for years, Brian.
yeah. Here I was thinking that's what the I thought the enzyme wanted milk and pizza, a full medium pizza. No, it was working overtime.
One whole medium pizza.
A whole medium pizza and a liter of chocolate milk to myself while watching random Dave Chappelle episodes at my buddy's house in the basement, laughing my ass off. Great times.
No, but you can still do that now.
No, don't do it.
First of all,
not food wise, but the random Dave Chappelle episode.
Yeah. But it's not the same. Like when you were hanging out at your friend's house on what was like probably his grandma's couch that she gave him to put in the basement where his room is now. The couch, probably the most uncomfortable, yet somehow the most comfortable place you've ever sat in your life. Like, it's uncomfortable because when you sit in it, you sink in so deep, but it also feels like someone holding you. So you're like,
I remember them couches. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I slept in one of those while I had a fever, woke up and didn't have a fever anymore.
Yeah.
Like straight up.
And it wasn't even ginger ale. It just the couch. The couch healed it all.
I should sweat that out of me. What?
Nasty Chappelle show was a long time ago,
dude. Yeah, when did Chappelle because these are when the episodes originally aired.
Long time ago, really back in 2003.
Yeah, exactly.
2003.
So the same year I graduated from high school. That's 22 years.
That's
ago.
Yeah,
oh
man.
My God,
beautiful times.
You didn't have to say it like that.
I'm gonna say it because it's one of those things. Because I still listen to Neil Brennan's podcast Blocks, which is really good.
Yeah.
And people still kind of say like, oh, I did this show and and then part of me is like, that's a long time ago, man.
Yeah,
comedy in the world has moved way past that.
Yeah.
He doesn't really say that anymore, but it's just like, wow, 22 years ago that show came out.
Yo, I don't even want to start the list of shows we could not do in 2025.
Oh man, Jackass. I can't. Let's go. Actually,
I don't know. I think you could. You could still do Jackass, just as long as they keep it to themselves. Because you had the Eric Andre show, which is but
Eric Andre wasn't. Oof, okay,
it's a more social Jackass, and then the way he does his interviews, he's more like a wild Bugs Bunny in real life. He's Looney Tunes in real life.
Yeah. If
the Man Show couldn't happen right now.
Oh, you couldn't do the Man Show. The Man Show was Spike TV with the girl just bouncing on a trampoline.
That was Adam Carolla and Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah, Kimmel.
Spike TV couldn't happen.
Spike, yes. Yo, okay. I just watched that. Someone was having a conversation about old Spike TV shows, and they were listing off the shows. Like, what was with the Warrior, where they used to have the different warriors?
Oh, Deadliest Warrior, I think.
Yes. Where Predator lost to Genghis Khan. Like, we're talking like some crazy.
That's BS.
Like, we're talking some crazy shit.
Unless Genghis Khan has some plot armor.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't even know if you could do shows like that. A show based entirely on two creatures trying to kill each other to the death, just battle to the death in the middle of whatever.
Well, I'm sure they phrased it as like, oh, it's educational.
Sure, yes.
And
Spike definitely did pretend it was educational.
Oh, they tried.
But that was cool though. I think
it was
all the things they were doing, I think that's the least egregious.
Yeah, true.
I would say that's the least egregious one.
Yo, this is gonna sound really sad, but I don't think you could do Mythbusters today.
No,
because
because
anything.
Yes, because people would like
It's
just
AI.
yeah, they would just say, well, none of the shit you're doing is real. You guys didn't even do the test properly. Like,
And no one believes in the scientific process anymore.
Exactly. Oh, yo, homie,
No
I'm
one,
happy you knew it.
even people that do experiments on flat Earth, they get to the conclusion that their experiment didn't work, and they just assume they failed because they're trying to get to their own outcome.
That's wild. That's wild. Honestly, I don't understand. It's kind of crazy
because the Mythbusters weren't scientists at all, but they were trying to go about it in a way that makes sense and kind of propose a scientific way of doing things, right?
Yeah.
The problem is that people they don't
believe in the scientific process. Yeah.
Whenever they get into an outcome that doesn't come to the conclusion that they want, they assume they did the thing wrong, as opposed to, oh, well, maybe this thing isn't right at all. Got it. Let me do it again. And it's like, no.
Insane.
But I mean, to be honest, that is part of the scientific process, where someone comes out with some research that says this, and then someone else in another place will do the same research to see if they get the same conclusion or something different, or do it on a bigger scale to see if they get anything close to what the original one was. So, that whole line of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different outcome. That's not true. That's the scientific process.
Actually,
that's
the saying is doing the same thing over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, because it is the idea that you'll get a different.
Because then they also credit to Einstein, and Einstein never said that.
Dude, no one is no. Let's understand, the internet doesn't care about anything. Okay, we need to set that up as our primary, that our opera. What is it? Mondi apparatus. Just like the world is a mess and nothing is accurate, and the internet is. What did you say?
I think it's opus operandi, but I could be wrong as well. I know what you're saying, but
again, another thing I learned from the internet is probably wrong. It is what it is. We just got a note from Mark, and it is a very accurate point that I should mention. We have a bunch of announcements that came out of Montreal Comic-Con that I do feel deserve a little bit of shine, because they do have a bunch of people coming to the convention this year. That's pretty cool. One of the ones, Dave's not here, so I probably won't talk about it. But Rick and Morty, the voice actors from Rick and Morty, Ian Cardoni, who's Rick Sanchez, Harry Belden, who's Morty, and Spencer Graham, who is Frasier's daughter, Kelsey Graham, who plays Summer Smith, are all going to be at Comic-Con in Montreal this year. Also, Natalia Tena, who has been on Harry Potter and Game of Thrones, is going to be. She's also in a John Wick film.
Oh,
I think the third or the fourth one, where he goes to get his tattoos removed. And
I guess that's the fourth one. I
think it's the fourth one. And she's going to be at Comic-Con. Also, Rikishi and Michael Jai White have been announced. Mark Henry's been announced. And then
chocolate.
Mike Coulter and Theo Rossi from Luke Cage are both going to be in attendance. And then one of the big ones that I feel the major Star Wars fans are going to be really excited for, Ian McDiarmid. Palpatine.
All right.
Yeah. But am I saying his name wrong? Mick and then Diarmid. Mick Diarmid?
I'm not sure. I don't think I've heard his name said out loud.
In which case, I feel no guilt saying it incorrectly. He's going to be joining Elijah Wood, Sean Astin, Billy Boyd, and Andy Serkis, who are also attending. William Shatner and Brett Spiner are going to be there. Rose McCowan. No, Rose is Rose McCowan. Is going to be there, and there's just a bunch more people in attendance this year. It's looking good. It's looking. I'm not mad at it.
I remember back in the day, I think I was in college or CJEP for us, and I was hanging out with this girl, and she was into wrestling, and I kind of faded out a bit.
Yeah,
and we got into an argument about Mark Henry's moniker at the time, or a little bit before, and I was like, his moniker is Sexual Chocolate. She's like, no, it's Sex Machine. I'm like, no. You're thinking of Viscera, and he was Sex Machine. You're mixing up the two big black guys. She's like, no, I know what I'm talking about. I watch more wrestling than you.
She's white,
like a big
girl?
And I'm just like, all right, the black guy doesn't know what two black people look like. Knows their names. All right, I'm just gonna leave it.
You should just
never saw her again.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like an episode of Saved by the Bell, and it's a Zach Moore's girlfriend. She comes in for one episode and she's gone.
No, like that episode of Andy Richter Controls the Universe, where he's sleeping with the racist girl.
Oh Lord!
That's a throwback. That's another show you can watch.
Wow, that's a good show though. That's a good show. I remember I got another story, another girl that I knew in CJAP. We watched the movie Roll Bounce at her place, and she didn't realize that Nick Cannon and Wesley Jonathan are two different actors.
Who is Wesley Jonathan? No.
So remember the show City Guys?
Oh, yeah.
I
didn't know he had a name. All right, cool.
Yeah. So Wesley Johnson in the movie is Sweetness. He's like the top roller skater in the ring. And Nick Cannon played like the hippie dude that gives you your skates.
Why would you cast two actors that look the same? That's kind of.
But she assumed Nick Cannon was Sweetness.
They look similar. They don't look.
They had cornrows. They're the same guy.
She assumed, but she
Skinny, stop giving her bail. Like, why?
So here. No. Here's the thing, because she thinks Nick Cannon in her head. She's like, oh yeah, he's like the slick talking, cool guy, blah blah blah. So she just automatically assumed he was sweet. I was like, no, Nick Cannon was like the mean hippie guy giving out the skates. She's like, that's not Nick Cannon. I'm like, he's acting. What do you? And I was like, all right, fine.
Are you pulling up pictures, put them side by side with.
I'm trying to put side by side.
Know who the black people are? All right.
Because I know he had cornrows at like the later seasons of City Guys or some kind of movie.
Yeah, but I can't I'm not gonna look up.
Just one's face is chubbier than the others, but quick glance, you could be like, cousins.
No, you're shooting way too much bail.
I'm here telling you.
I'm doing this.
They did not look that much alike.
Can't even remember this dude's name to Google his picture. What is it?
This was the time before we all had smartphones and we could just look up stuff easily, and like, easy available Wi-Fi in your house kind of thing.
Right.
This is before that. You had to go upstairs to your
computer. Oh no, he's closer. He's more akin to the Everybody Hates Chris guy, and he's in he's more akin to the dude from who's on okay, sorry. But then hold on, Nick Cannon. I'm trying to prove myself wrong. Okay, hold on. Yeah, hold on, Skinny. What are you saying?
We're gonna share the screen and put them side by side. It is a sad day that we got to do this, but here we're gonna show you people who these two people are. If you guys are listening to this, make sure you go check us out on YouTube, FXA Media, so you can check out our episodes and see the insanity.
Don't look alike.
T-I-T-Y.
Oh, fam, I'm not that thrown off.
I don't think they look that much alike.
I don't think so.
The eyes are close. And the forehead. And that is all.
I know that too.
But in the movie, one had like a nice
because Nick Cannon literally has a
like crazy fro, but it was
Nick Cannon literally looks like a hippie in the movie. Like he's dressed like a hippie.
He dressed like a hippie and he was mean. And then Sweetness was like the cool, smooth guy that was like ruling the rink kind of thing. And it was like just two separate dudes.
Polar opposites.
Yes, the energy and everything.
Yeah, just the energy is very good.
We got to get to some new stuff before Skinny bounces. So, because I want his thoughts on this. Marvel delays Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars by 7 months each.
Take your time.
No longer coming out in May. They're coming out in December, which most people are saying if you're going to release a movie, your best time is Memorial Weekend type stuff, like summer, not necessarily at the end at Christmas time.
In the old movie days, yes.
I mean, it's still summer. It's the beginning of summer. You want to launch with your summer blockbuster.
Yeah, mash up Christmas with this time. Whatever. Let the other people have summer. Maybe they came to an agreement. James, we won't go and trample all over your shit. Well, you got to drop it next summer. Okay, we'll come in December for your neck. There. When are you dropping that, man? No. December? Cool. Like, I'm not really worried. I rather, as he said, take your time, man. It's Dr. Doom here. If you drop some doo-doo, whatever, and try to throw in a new Avengers.
Doo-doo-doom.
Yeah, no, man. I don't want no doo-doo doom. Yeah. Right. That's it. That's a great title. Doo-doo doom.
Doom. Oh, God.
You'll now kneel before doo-doo doom.
Doo-doo doom. Yeah, I don't want that. I don't want anything really bad. Basically, I'm pretty much assuming that the new Avengers are just gonna die straight up and down. So
I don't think these are going to be good movies.
oh wow!
I honestly think because
Don't say it. Don't give the internet trolls for their
no. I'm saying Infinity War and Endgame had 20-something movie buildup so that we felt a rapport with these characters, and to give us in this Doomsday and Secret Wars films with little to no buildup because nothing landed though, so they haven't continued to build on anything.
I see buildup. Doctor Strange. Oh, shit's getting really fucked up out here. Okay, cool.
Sure.
That's it.
But so we get one Doctor Doom Multiverse of Madness movie, and we're supposed.
Fantastic Four is going to show you live what an incursion looks like on a whole ass universe. You're telling me?
I hope so.
I know it.
I want to see more than just one movie. Give me an incursion, though.
Why?
You're gonna give me one
to see massive
dude
hole like that.
You remember the comic book run of the incursions isn't just one issue.
There's a comic explained. I know
it's a beautiful buildup. They develop a lot of stuff. Black Panther is the king of the dead. Like you have like a whole thing going on with people over here, over there, and everywhere. And now you're gonna give me 2 movies and land the plane.
We can't have Shuri drop a planet on Namor because they came to peace. So that's the coolest part in that whole shit. Don't you tell me anything different.
That is dope. I think it's fantastic.
The coolest part in that whole Joss, yeah.
I'm gonna be devil's advocate to you, Doc. So last episode we were talking about how they had to do what they had to do with what was it called, Civil War. You can't do the 1-for-1. So
don't get me wrong.
Don't get for this, and it might
don't get me wrong. You can't do a 1-for-1 for this because the story's too long. I understand that. But for the purposes of the incursion is the idea that the universes are crushing and falling in on each other. Mm-hmm. And that's being done by some gods in some weird universe, blah, blah, blah. Some of that stuff got convoluted.
Actually, the Celestials.
Yeah.
No, not Celestials, sorry.
The main story itself is we are seeing it from the perspective of the 616, and we're seeing the other things come into play, but you're getting from the perspective of other people in some cases that like, this is what we did to try and stop the incursion. If it failed, we died. I don't see how you do that. Even if you're going to change it a little bit, you still got to give me, I'll put it to you this way. I recently watched a video about how much takeoff you need, how much space you need to take off and land a plane.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Helicarriers have an elastic that or a hook latches onto to land the plane safely because that's the best way to do it because you don't have enough.
You're talking about jet, like military jets.
Military jets, yeah.
Okay, cool. I thought you were talking about commercial stuff.
No, but that's what I am. I'm talking about. I don't want a helicarrier, not a helicarrier. I don't want a short runway military ship in the middle of the water with a hook and an elastic. I want a full fucking runway. Give me a full fucking runway to land the plane. Don't give me some quick hook shit technology in hopes everything goes good. Hey, you landed a lot of planes like that. Good for you. Give me a proper fucking runway.
Oh my god.
Proven technology though.
Well,
technology.
Marvel hasn't proven shit in the last little while, so that's my problem.
And then you have a bunch of shows to catch up on too.
Lord have mercy.
The whole time you said that, I'm thinking the Simpsons episode and Marge, and like you're just like, let me off.
I'm telling you.
Oh my god.
I'm not here for short runways. I want a full landing. Don't give me one movie that kind of hints at the incursion and puts all the weight on them to deal with the incursion.
Kind of hint on nothing. Mad went to universes and the whole thing was dying. Like that was the incursion about to happen, and then they told you about the next Doctor.
But you're talking about Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah,
but that movie sucks.
Doesn't matter. It put it in there. It's there.
Hey, so did Thor: The Dark World. Sucked as well.
But do you guys think they're gonna?
It came back to be a linchpin somehow.
Yeah, they put a whole damage gemstone in that one. Come on, Infinity Stone.
We all know that was a mistake.
I even forgot about that.
Even they know that
they had to come back. That's why the writers of that movie had to come back in Endgame to tell you, hey, this movie's important.
Important, man. Sure.
But that's what I'm saying. So this summer we are getting the Fantastic Four.
Okay.
It's going to be the first time the Fantastic Four are in the Marvel universe officially. They're finally back at home. They've gotten the short end of the stick for years from Disney. Disney went out of their way to try and ruin this franchise out of pettiness. And now that they're back, you're going to put the entire next phase on their shoulders?
That's what you get, first family. Yeah.
No pressure. Yeah. We're just going to put all the weight of it on your shoulders.
No pressure. Listen what they're going to do with this. Okay. They just, because they're not doing an introduction. These people had their powers.
True.
So they're literally there's no hour long, like, okay, we're going to go up into space and, I'm different. What's happening? I'm a rock.
I hope not.
Like,
I hope
none
not.
of that bullshit.
I want
over it. He's good. He's cooking with Herbie. Like, everybody's established. Everybody's good with themselves. The movie is, hey, guess what? We're pregnant. Cool. How are we going to do this? 9 months go by. Galactus comes and tries to eat their shit. Then they kind of make peace with Galactus and Silver Surfer, and Incursion destroys their whole shit. Bong. Movie.
Jesus. You're writing a decent script. I hope we get to see Franklin as a baby, not understanding powers.
Pops gave it away there. Yeah, he is there.
Yeah.
Oh, so he's basically like the baby from Incredibles.
Well, they copied Franklin, if anything, because Franklin.
I know, but I'm saying, like, but this was going to happen, right? Yeah. People are going to see it. Oh, they're just copying the Incredibles. Well, this came out
not as much the Incredibles, because he can. It's not that he has all the powers. He can alter reality.
Yeah,
right.
So like he'll be their ticket waves to getting big boy Galactus over here.
That's what I was thinking.
Calm down. He'll just like, yo, dog, like, nah, G, and Galactus will be like, really? He'll be like, yeah, and he's like, all right, cool, and then Incursion.
Ending the movie on the Incursion and then telling us we have to wait till December 2026 is rude. But
man, because didn't they say they were pushing up Spider-Man?
Are they? Is that why they moved it back?
They did a little like whoop de doop, and Spider-Man's gonna come sooner than later.
Let me double check.
They want to have to find a way to bring his ass back into the play. They ain't gonna have no Avengers movie and no Spider-Man, so they need to make Peter Parker cool again.
So Spider-Man 4 is releasing July 2026.
There you go. See?
Yo, that's a big difference in writing though, because
his movie was initially going to come out after Doomsday or something. So Spider-Man's just Spider-Maning and Doomsday just happened. Stop.
Right.
Stop. What are you doing?
Right. The trauma of Doomsday happened, and
Spidey's just like, I'm going to Empire State. Like, shut up.
Supposedly, Tom Holland is not in this Avengers movie, right? He's not listed as one of the chairs in it.
He is now. Surprise.
Yeah, I feel like you have to include him if you're gonna have. That's crazy.
I know for a fact that the way they're doing this, that Avengers or that Doomsday movie is essentially going to be AVX.
Avengers versus
Avengers versus X.
Avengers.
Yeah, because
how many mutants are we finally going to get? Because I'm tired of waiting. Franklin is technically a mutant, right?
Franklin's technically a mutant. Homeboy and New Avengers is technically a mutant. The black dude.
Wait, which Homeboy and New Avengers?
I was running he was doing the guy was he doing
that don't count.
Yes, he does. He can move statues.
Yeah, but we're not going to see that. You think they're going to hire Wendell Pierce to come in and start moving statues in Avengers Doomsday?
Yeah, all the movies they can get.
Wendell Pierce, the Avengers.
That's not enough casting. You're not giving him that role because he needed the paycheck. Stop it. Come on. They told him, listen,
I love that man as an actor, but you not having him come in Avengers Doomsday and they're attacking the Capitol, and you see him moving Lincoln. Like, we ain't doing that shit.
Didn't they do that in a comic?
They did it in a comic. So that's literally what happened. But I don't think they're going to do.
Of course. When the world's coming to an end and you're seeing Galactus coming through or something crazy, you're gonna.
Yeah, I guess you bring all the players to the game if that's.
Not even bring them to the game. You're just gonna show him do like this, and then and that's it,
sir. That is the wildest shit.
That's not a nothing casting. Stop it. You're not getting him to just do Miss Valentina. Like, stop.
Yeah, that's funny. Okay. I'll give you that. That's so funny to think.
So you got
him,
Kelsey Grammer. You got
Kelsey Grammer.
What's his name?
Nightcrawler.
No, I'm talking about the ones we've seen in the MCU. Oh, so we've seen him. We've seen Kelsey Grammer. We know Franklin.
Does Wanda and her brother count? Because they're miracles.
Ooh, okay, so I want to say yes because they are mutants, in the comic book.
They're gonna retcon that.
But yeah, they don't depict them as mutants because they depicted them as having their powers unlocked by being tested on by Hydra. So
Miss Marvel,
miracles.
Miss Marvel is Miss Marvel a mutant?
Yeah.
No, because she has the bangles in MCU. She's not a mutant.
So why the man at the end of the show say, "Well, and then the X-Men song, she's a mutant. It's just the bangles accelerate her power or whatever, enhance them."
True. My apologies.
That's why they even made her a mutant in the comics to retcon that. She's a mutant.
Facts. Mea culpa. You're right. I hate that they did that to her because she's a pretty cool Inhuman, but yes.
I mean, but the Inhumans, they're dead now.
Yeah, they already screwed the pooch on Inhumans, so you're like, nah,
they're not going to associate her
with the rug now.
But guys, they screwed the pooch on half the characters they've done in the last little bit, and they're still getting a chance. Why can't the Inhumans?
Which ones? Actually, and I'll go yay or nay. Which ones?
The Eternals are completely done.
But the Eternals haven't been important since 2 years ago. Like, come on. Whatever.
What do you mean? The main part of the last Captain America movie is that they're going after the celestial being in the planet left over from the Eternals movie.
Fine, so they'll make them cool again after.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
they'll save them. I like
they're putting stuff like this is what it feels like. They're putting stuff in the pot to make soup, and then just not making the soup.
Here's the thing.
Where's the soup? Make the damn food.
Coming back.
The what? What? Who?
Harry Styles?
When's Harry Styles coming back?
Don't need to come back for a minute.
Also Skinny. Where's Blade? Where's Blade?
Hold on.
No,
don't worry about
Hercules.
Don't worry about Blade.
Where's Hercules?
That's it. Okay, but you guys are naming people and you're wondering who's going to be on Sam's Avengers. You're just naming Avengers. Okay? You got Hercules. You got Hercules here. We got Black Knight in the tuck. Stop it. Let's go. We have Cersei. We have Cersei, who's an Avenger.
If you give me this Sam Wilson Avengers team made of B-list failure Marvel characters from the MCU, I'm gonna feel so disrespected.
Hey, excuse me, sir. How dare you? Because Avengers were B-list, Iron Man was B-list, all the damn people was B-list. They couldn't get X-Men, and they said, let's take this B-list team and let's make them A-listers. Let's go.
So they did do it. They did do it.
Not just that, but you see, if they've also introduced the different eras of Avengers as they were going. So now we've kind of hit the boring 90s bomber jacket mark where
get Thunderstrike.
There you go. Hey, my man's talking. Okay. So then we had Thunderstrike
on this and
Hercules in a really bad jacket, and you had Black Knight in there with the laser sword, Cersei, Black Widow, but she's not around. So
Vengeance was the other Ghost Rider, right?
Ghost Rider, yeah. Vengeance was the other one with the
two
skull.
Yeah, the crazier looking stuff.
This is, by the way, you got. Oh, and Wonder Man is going to exist.
Wonder Man. Okay,
but hold on, just real quick. Yeah. Y'all are talking about a run of the Avengers no one gave a fuck about.
Exactly. And no one's going to want to give a fuck about them because the X-Men are here now.
Excuse me. We made 3 movies of Guardians of the Galaxy. No one gave a crap about the Guardians of the Galaxy. This movie came out, all of a sudden everyone's for Rocket Raccoon.
But okay.
Nobody.
I give you that 100%. Let us remember though, the man who did that is at DC now. Yep. Do you have enough power over at Marvel right now to land this plane with these people? Because I'm not mad at what you guys are saying. If you're telling me this Avengers team is going to be these Thunderstrike, all these characters, the Electric Sword, Black Knight, these guys that are doing that what was it, the 90s they did that?
That was the 90s area.
Kind of Rob Liefeld style arts, abs on the side of the body, things don't even
eyes and stuff.
Yeah.
Where's Cable?
Things not even making sense. This is the run we want to do, and I get what Jaws is saying. Jaws is making the valid point of we did it the first time. No one gave a fuck about Iron Man.
Yeah.
He's an alcoholic warmonger, and they turned him into one.
No one asked for Mantis.
Nobody asked for Mantis.
And Palm is fantastic in that role. She's so good in it.
But I'm just saying, no one asked for Mantis.
You're not wrong.
We got a talking dog, right? And a talking dog.
Cosmo,
talking Russian dog. It took them too long. But I'm glad.
Okay, so I get what you guys are saying, but we need directors that can bring that. So I need Who is the? Yeah, because you have to, because the Russos, I know they said they would come back if you gave them the keys to a story they wanted to do. We gave them the keys to the story they wanted to do, but in the meantime, since they left, you haven't really landed many planes properly. James Gunn landed
New Avengers.
He
needs to work on his action sequences, though. I mean, they're good, but he needs to, like, I don't want to see no movie end with a hug ever again. Stop that.
Well, dude, that's one of my things with Marvel. It feels like Marvel has decided, because
some people need that hug.
Brave New World ended the same way.
Nah, I'm not. No kumbaya.
And I agree. I don't want hugging to end. Like, don't get me wrong. We all got to deal with our mental health. I understand that. But my superhero movies are supposed to be an escape where I watch people, like a rage room, beat the shit out of each other. And I'm not here to watch people kumbaya this bullshit. I'm sorry.
But at the same time, like, they also have to find a way to do like a middle ground team gigantic beat up on someone, but just incapacitate them. Because you do have to think realistically, if a big bad is really bringing down hell and fire upon you, you're not going to just be like, put him in handcuffs. Like,
Wait, you killed everybody else, and this dude that's doing the real destruction, you just knock him out and you put him in handcuffs
and put him in the raft underground in the water. Like,
wasn't that's Green Arrow, isn't it? That's Arrow all over again.
My thing is,
sent him back to the island. Oh my god,
we've discussed this before, so I won't rehash it too much. I just feel like, and I know everyone loves Feige.
Now he can go. I'm with you.
Okay. Here we go.
I'm like, all right. Like,
just give me
just land X-Men and give me, and then you can, like, all right.
And you know what? Fine. If
that's his baby, you have to understand.
Yes.
Full circle full circle.
If yes. Okay. Give him the full circle moment of bringing the X-Men to life, and then he steps out. Because I need someone else to stick the landing, land the plane, whatever analogy works for you in your head of just successfully delivering. I don't.
Shoot. Mandalorian nigga, the guy who even did Iron Man, let him do it.
I don't think he wants to do it anymore.
Favreau?
Yeah, bro. Favreau. I don't think he wants to do it anymore.
I mean, it would be, but you know what?
Chef about how he doesn't want to do that anymore.
He pulled Mandalorian after Chef.
Then he did Jungle Book. Then he did Lion King.
Jaws.
Then he did Mandalorian.
Hitters, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
Went right back.
He did Mando. He worked with Filoni to do a bunch of Star Wars stuff. Him and Filoni were doing the Star Wars stuff. Filoni's over there doing it all mostly. Favreau. I know you don't love doing it, but take the money and run. You have a relationship.
How many franchises?
But I think the reason he doesn't want to do it is because they have to cram in everything else. So, like, when he was doing Iron Man 2, he wanted to focus on Iron Man 2, but no, you have to set up the Avengers. So
but that's what I'm saying. Give him a bigger key set. Give him more control. Yeah, because the thing is, he was answering to people, but let him actually take the ship and run with it and see what happens, because he hasn't failed horribly. And at this point, that's mostly what I'm asking for. Sorry,
I'll speak from a Norm's place before I head out. Actually, I'll do two more points before I head out. I, as a person, I don't care about Star Wars. I love Star Wars. Star Wars is there, but I don't care about Star Wars. Mandalorian is the shit. Who did that?
Yeah, really good.
And he pulled that from where? Nothing. There's no previous book. They talk about the Mandalorians, but there's no, like, you know what I mean? It's not hardcore lore.
He dug into the Mando lore.
Yeah. And he made Mandalore and all that stuff cool. Like, I want to collect those figures now give it to him. Yeah, of course.
The armorer, she's so badass with that gold helmet, a jetpack, and a hammer. Yo, like, that shit's so dope.
I want to know what's going on. I want to know their backstory. What can you do with that hammer other than weld shit? Like, can you be?
And Jaws, if anything, I think one of the things you'd appreciate is Favreau has a knack for not only just writing good stories, but introducing characters that can turn into good action figures. And that feels like a lost skill in some of this shit. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm sure someone at Disney, Star Wars, Lucasfilm,
I'm sure there's someone that's there from the toy from Hasbro or whoever that's doing the toys, like, hey, if you do this, if you tweak it like this, it would be easier to make the toy. Oh, okay, sure.
But that's the thing, it works so well. Like, you tell him, hey, you should put jetpacks because those figures will sell for more because we're having extra pieces, and he managed to write in, yo, here's a bunch of niggas with jetpacks fighting in the air.
helmets,
Bong.
swords, and blasters.
And we're going like shit. Like
modern day Power Rangers. What's up,
dude? Then you bring in Ludwig Göransson, who is fucking minting gold music every time he touches a piano. Yo,
come on, man.
So, anyways,
they've put out 7 Mandalorian figures. I think 7 or even 8, and they all sell out. First suit, the one where he has a spear, the one where he has a jetpack, the one where he has a jetpack and a spear. Now he's got the dark saber. Now, you know what I mean? Like
now he's got a new hat.
Now he's fully chromed out. Like,
I want it.
That one's nice. And they're re-releasing his ships too, right? The 2 different ones, the like sports car one and the other one.
Yep.
But I thought the name of his ship was Slave. You can come here, you.
Oh no, that's Bubba. That's Boba Fett. We leave him over there. I know Lego, and it's crazy too because the Lego set came out, and I was like, no way. Lego released the Slave ship, and then I was like, I don't even know what Lego called it, but they changed the name, and I was like, that makes sense. Anyways,
Boba Wagon.
Skinny. What was the second point?
The second point is I was just going to see what Brian was going to say, and I was going to comment on that, and then
I am here to see someone else take the reins. Same thing with Kathleen Kennedy is fantastic. Tony Gilroy giving her flowers for everything that they did over with Andor is fantastic. I think it's great that out of all the hate she's gotten over the years, that Tony Gilroy was just like, listen, all y'all who love Andor, none of that shit exists without Kathleen Kennedy. But also time for her to step down. He didn't say that, but I'm saying that. I've loved Kathleen Kennedy. I've never said she needed to step down, but now I think it's leave on a high note. Pull a Costanza.
Oh shoot! Okay.
You go to the meeting, you tell the joke, the room laughs. Leave on a high note, because Andor. Because no offense to Star Wars, and it's not going to get better than Andor. You don't have.
It's a prequel series, so it's kind of like I can watch it, but I don't need to because
you're not going to get better than Andor. Acolyte is canceled, and Ahsoka is season 2 is not going to be as good. Apparently, I don't care who you cast.
Relevant for the time we're living in.
Yes.
Damn. Okay.
Remember the funny thing is that the problem a lot of times the problem with Star Wars is that it makes fascism look cool. And people forget who bad guys are. You just completely forget the allegory is that they're the Nazis. Everyone wants to be part of the dark side because it looks so cool. And that's
someone posted a
fascism. That
am I gonna like Caspian by the end of this thing? Because I hate.
Oh, dude,
I mean, you know Caspian, me. I hate that nigga. Like I don't like Caspian.
No, dude. By the end of it, Caspian, Andor, and like all the side characters, not even just Caspian. You're gonna like Clea. You're gonna like Luthen. All these characters, you're gonna be like, yo, why wasn't this Star Wars the whole time? If Star Wars was this from jump, I would have been a fan when I was younger. But all like lightsabers are cool, but listen.
Wait, hold on, dude. There's
Mark Hamill. I know people love you now, but rewatching Star Wars is painful because the boy didn't know how to act yet.
No, it was bad. He was a bad lunch break when we had to watch that.
Yeah, he like and from what I understand, George Lucas wasn't a good director yet either,
or a good writer.
Right, because people would say things like supposedly he was on set going like funnier, harder, faster, stronger, better. Like he literally was just throwing Daft Punk lines at people, and people were just like looking at each other like, "What the hell am I supposed to do? What does do this better mean? Like how better? What better? What am I?"
It makes no sense. What about what's his name? Harrison Ford.
For what?
So in Harrison, remember, you know the scene in Empire Strikes Back, the second one, right?
Yeah.
So he's supposed to say "I love you" to Princess Leia.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
But he just says "I know."
Yeah.
And then Lucas is like, "That's not what it says in the script," and he's like, "But you're not writing it. What? Like you can't write for shit." Like, come on, like this guy's an asshole. The character's an asshole. Why
he's not gonna say "I love you" back? Yeah.
When he's just been antagonizing her the whole time.
And it's one of the most iconic lines. Yeah. And George Lucas is such a romantic. He thought it was probably cool to have the guy finally say "I love you," where the real character would have been like, "I know, bitch. Like you've been on this dick this whole time. I know. Like we got that. Like
dead.
Yeah, that's the character. That's so." And then when you see him later on in Force Awakens and his reaction with her, seeing her for the first time after he's been on the run, you kind of get the like, oh, this nigga finally fell in love. It paid off. I actually don't know. I have no clue what just happened, but
that was cool. See what happens when you talk shit about Star Wars? All right.
He's out here being like, shut it down. Shut it all down.
It's really strong with this one.
Crazy bastards. Anyways, so that's our take on the pushing back of Marvel and Doomsday. And then, as always, it always leads into a little bit of a Disney conversation because that's who owns all these things.
That's why.
Yeah. I have two more pieces of news. I don't know if you're gonna stick, Skinny, but EA cancels Black Panther game. That's been in the works. And they shut down the Cliffhanger studio.
There we go. I was kind of waiting for that.
Well, okay. Jaws, can you tell me why? Because
no. It's because they've announced it and there's just dead silence. It's just nothing about it. There's also the Captain America game.
Yeah.
But that's the Black Panther ones. They're both in that game,
right?
So it's just like, well, what's going on? And it's just been dead silent. And the game industry hasn't been doing great lately. A lot of layoffs going on right now, and EA is having kind of a hard time, from what I'm hearing, in the sense of everyone thinks like, what was that? Dragon. What's the RPG they came out with?
Dragonlance?
No.
Sorry, hold on.
Not
RPG from EA.
I remember that one. Is the Dragon? I know it was the co-op one. God,
EA.
I sadly don't know. While they're looking, I'll also mention that
Dragon Age. That's it.
Dragon Age.
Okay, well,
Dragon Age didn't do very well, but everyone's like, oh, because Dragon Age was woke and did it. And it's like, no. If you look at their other games that they have as well, all their sports games aren't doing well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's just kind of a across the board.
Yeah.
Wait, who makes NBA 2K and stuff?
2K Sports.
2K.
They make wrestling. They got wrestling. So
their own company. Okay, I thought it was
EA used to have NBA Live, and then
that's what I was thinking.
Went to crap.
When did they drop that? To 2021? They canceled that, or 2020?
No, way before, maybe 2028 or something. Like they were about to release it, and people were coming out in T-poses and stuff. It was really bad.
Oh wow. Okay.
That NBA game was really, really bad. But their football game, not football, not Madden, but like soccer, the soccer game.
Okay.
No longer associated with FIFA, and they call it like sports like football FIFA club or something like that.
Yeah, EA Sports Club or so.
Yeah, that one's not doing cool. So
wow, that's why. Okay.
So it's a lot of their sports stuff is also kind of lagging as well. But so they're probably trying to say like, oh, we have to cut this, we have to cut that.
Is this a product of the churn? Like I kept hearing about all the gaming churn and visual arts churn. Like they just overworked everyone to the point where there's just not enough people to do these projects. No one wants to be in the end. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I think it's just a lot of projects cost a lot of money. Like Spider-Man, like if you look at when the leak happened for Sony and people found out how much Spider-Man costs, and it costs a lot of money, so you have to sell a lot. And I guess they felt like we're not going to recoup the amount of money that we're spending on this, and it sucks because they do make good single player games. There's like a bunch of single player games that EA has come out with not too long ago. They had Split Fiction that was really good, that did very well. Immortals of Avium was a really cool like Magic but like Call of Duty kind of game, but it was more of a single player game. Star Wars Jedi Survivor was really good. I think when it first came out, there was a lot of bugs. I hope that a lot of it's been ironed out, but it's just
I'm sorry. I just saw is this real?
What?
The cost to make Spider-Man 2 the video game was $300 million.
There you go.
That's the thing that was the leak. $300 million.
Yep.
300 million.
Yep. And usually the industry doesn't tell you how much it costs to make a game. So I don't know if that's also including marketing and all that kind of stuff. When they go to E3 and they give you a bunch of free stuff. And blah, blah, blah.
These games aren't cheap, man. They're stupid, crazy expensive.
Yeah.
Wait, I need to see a budget. Why would it?
They don't release this. They don't, like, video game companies do not. They don't want people to know how much they're spending because they don't want people to know.
That is crazy. People, like, a kid wins the lottery and starts buying mansions and like a fountain with orange juice money. Like $300 million on a game.
to maybe make it back. Why do you think they keep pushing back GTA 6? But then again, at the same time, when that game does drop, that's how many billions are you making?
Yeah, that's gonna make money though. Yeah, because
Exactly.
they're all waiting
But
to
then
play
everybody wants the GTA.
Five has been
6.
making money since what? 3 years? 5 years?
Which one?
5. GTA 5.
No, dude, GTA 5 came out in 2018, man. No,
GTA
before
5
that,
came out for
2014.
PS4, right?
Yes, no, yeah,
Yeah.
PS3.
No.
No, not
came out
PS3.
PS3. I'm not even lying.
Hold on.
No, we gotta look that up. We gotta look it up.
PS3. I was in Vegas.
Oh my god,
2015.
PS3, and it's on the Rage engine too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was in
Ladies and
Vegas.
gentlemen,
PS3
3 was
2014.
accurate again, and that feels crazy. That 3, the GTA 5 came on the PS3. Feels
because when I
more than
insane.
10 years. It's 13
Because
years.
when I think of GTA, when I think of PS3 GTA, I think of 4.
Yeah.
Right.
That's why.
I think of like the
PS3
Ballad of
came
the-
out on, and then the last bending of 3 was PS3 was GTA 5. Then you have to remember, then they put it out, they upgraded and put it on GTA 4, put it on PS4 and added the first person view. Then
Oh,
they
wow.
dropped they dropped online on PS3, and then they dropped online on PS4, and then they've been riding it since.
And they still have the GTA 5 online gaming. That's still a thing.
Still going.
Okay.
And Red Dead 2. They're killing it.
Yeah, Red Dead. Yeah, man, Red Dead 2 is. Yo, how much did Red Dead 2 cost to make then? Jesus Christ.
And there was a lot of crunch time on that.
Yeah.
So
they
I think
killed
also the
people.
problem is that a lot of gaming people, a lot of these companies, you know, they have to make money to their investors and stuff like that. They're beholden to investors, and investors like to hear what you're doing next. And sometimes investors don't know what's actually going on in the gaming industry and what people actually want. So they're like, oh, we should make what's big right now? Fortnite and
Right.
and Minecraft.
Overwatch,
So we should make
all
games
that
of
stuff, yeah.
service. But the problem is that you have to make a good game first. The
Yeah.
game has to be good first.
So how did they figure out Marvel
Hold off
Rivals
to that.
so well then? Because Marvel Rivals took off like gangbusters.
Because
actually have to
that
play
person, I think he worked for the people that were doing Overwatch.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay.
I think he was working at, what do they call it? Blizzard. I think he was working at Blizzard first, and then and then he left, and he had an idea on how to do it better. And then
Okay.
that's what ended up happening. He went to NetEase, I think.
You guys remember the game Evolve? It was okay. I remember. I remember the president of then THQ, not Rachel Bilson's dad, but another key investor. Rachel Bilson's dad did run THQ for a minute.
The actress Rachel Bilson, Summer from
OC. Her pops ran. He actually looks like Nathan Drake. So he came over from Naughty Dog, was running THQ for Montreal and THQ for a minute.
Oh, cool.
Bombed the hell out of that shit. But in that time,
good.
he signed on a bunch of games. One game that was Benicio del Toro doing some kind of action game, and I played a demo of that was hype. I played Evolved with a bunch of investors and like the president of the company, and
cool.
I was basically like, I'm here on my desk and they're over there, and I'm essentially told like I'm playing the Evolved monster, and I'm essentially told like ruin these guys. like my boss is like, go easy on them, and then there's a private chat of like, fuck these niggas up. Hey, go hard, show them what this thing could do.
Yeah,
so it's very funny.
that's
It's like,
cool.
you have to impress your investors, because to the point sometimes these guys will just fly in on you, be like, yeah, we're in Montreal, we want to see what the game looks like. And random team meeting that morning, they're just like, hey guys.
See, that sounds like Mythic Quest, that show that was on Apple TV. Like it really does sound, because they do have moments where it's just like Montreal's calling to find out what's going on with the game, and I was like, oh wow, okay, that sounds fucking badass.
We be calling.
Yeah. Okay, that was the last piece of news I had here was Gen V, the continuation of The Boys season 2.
How's that gonna go?
It's coming out soon. There's no other announcements. They're supposed to be dropping some stuff in Mexico at some convention. Let me double check what the convention is called. They're going to be dropping stuff at CCXP Mexico on Saturday. So we're going to find out a bit more this weekend. By the time you're listening to this, there might be more information. So I would suggest you look it up. If anything, we might repost on our socials at Geek Cypher, or you can follow any of our socials. All our socials are on the screen below.
There we go.
So you can check out our socials, and we'll be probably posting about this stuff. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about Gen V in a world where The Boys is ending, and I don't really think I care as much.
Oh.
I mean, if you're gonna give me a show that's set in a world where it's the like high school or college of the superheroes, but you're not gonna continue it would be. Not everyone can do Cosby to a different world.
Right.
And this felt like a little bit, obviously not the exact same thing, but this felt like Cosby to a different world. The Boys to Gen V. Here you go. We're moving on to the college years. This is going to be cool. We're going to have multiple seasons of this. You ended the first season with the Boys stuff. I've now watched the season of The Boys and didn't see any of the people from Gen V except for two of them for 2 split seconds. So I'm kind of like,
did I finish that season? Oh man, okay,
right.
Wow, I need to go back. I'm like, I don't remember.
So I'm kind of like, hey, you guys have some work to do because, like, right now in the world we have so much superhero stuff, and not even just superhero stuff. We have shows like Andor, like delivering. So you gotta give me something, and just showing me a poster of homegirl who can manipulate blood like a bloodbender in Avatar. Seen it.
Yeah, kind of gross. I'm done.
No offense. I think she's cool. I like the actress. She was great in Sabrina, but seen it.
Kind of like that. What was that game? Castlevania, Lords of Shadow 2, where Dracula he can control blood, so he uses it as a sword. He can harden it and use it as a sword. He could make it like lucid a little bit. And he can make it as a whip.
What?
That's crazy. That's crazy. All right, that was all the news, boys. I didn't really have much else. I think that was pretty much the whole show. We were going to do news because I didn't know if you guys wanted to talk about shows or anything that you've been watching.
I got to catch up on a lot. I've been just trying to get reviews out all these toys and stuff and like tariffs and no toys, and it's crazy.
The only thing I had was talking about the Count of Monte Cristo, which I know I told, like, Dave and I had a conversation about what counts as nerdy. I would say it's not necessarily nerdy, but it is black because Alexandre Dumas, the author of the Count of Monte Cristo and the Three Musketeers, was a quarter black.
Wait, what?
Haitian descent.
Three Musketeers? What?
Yeah, you don't remember that? That was the whole thing in Django. That was a whole.
I knew
Alexandre Dumas was one of us.
I always thought the Three Musketeers were dope because then that movie there was actually 4 of them, and but they didn't count Chris O'Donnell.
Yeah, because he was like his dad was a musketeer, but he wasn't of the Three Musketeers, so he went out to go find them. So.
But that's it. So I've been watching the Count of Monte Cristo. It just came out the beginning of this year. And to anyone,
Alexandre Dumas, there's a lot of they do a lot of satirical stuff. They used to do all that stuff back in the day, and they would not draw him in the best light. They would
Oh yeah. They disrespected the man.
If you didn't know he was black, they let you know.
They'll let you know
in their satirical thing.
All right.
You know how it be. You know how it be. But those stories live on. It's 2025. He wrote them shits in the 1800s, and they're still out here making shows and movies, and I hope that estate is still making money. I will say, though, by this point, the estate is probably just white people.
Probably white, yeah, dude. Like, what are you talking about?
I don't think the estate is making money. I think that's they're in the public domain by now.
Oh, true.
If people are making it that much and that often, then
it is public domain. You're right.
There's even an anime about the Count of Monte Cristo. It's pretty like weird and psychedelic. It's pretty cool.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
Yeah. Read the book. It's good.
Yeah. If you can, read the book. The book was actually very good. I remember when I was younger reading it. Yeah, so that's pretty much the only thing I've been watching recently and that I can think of. I'm trying to think of what else I've watched recently. Oh, I watched Lilo and Stitch, not the live action.
The old one?
I never watched the animated one before.
I've seen that 900 times. My kid loved Lilo and Stitch.
I've never seen it, and I only just watched it for the first time.
Fantastic movie.
Yeah,
the redheaded girl had it coming, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah. Was she boxing in her face? What?
Yo,
that was the first.
I don't know if they're bringing that back in the live action, but I saw a lot of people saying if Lilo don't got hands, we ain't supporting the movie. And I was like, damn,
box that girl in her face.
My favorite TikTok was who would win in a fight, DW from Arthur or Lilo from Lilo and Stitch, and everyone's
Lilo.
like, "No, Lilo, she's got
Lilo all
hands."
day.
That's
DW
so
can
funny.
diss you. She could talk. She could talk,
But she can't fight.
but she can't fight.
Lilo beat that girl up. Like that was the first.
Lilo's got
he
hands.
straight punched her in the face. It was
So
great.
funny.
Ground pound, bop, 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 in the face, bop.
I also wanted to talk about the second best hospital in the galaxy. Season 2 has dropped. I know a lot of people didn't see season 1. It's a Prime series. The reason I bring it up is Kiki Palmer is one of the leads on the show, along with Stephanie Hu, Kieran Culkin, Maya Rudolph, Greta Lee, Natasha Lyonne. Like this cast is like Jay Ellis, Tracy Ellis Ross. The cast is fantastic, and of course Phil Lamar does some of the voices. So if you guys have a chance, I would highly recommend it. It's on Prime. The second best hospital in the galaxy is the name of the show, and it's a fun one.
I will watch that. Okay.
For me, since we didn't have internet for a little bit, we were watching Letterkenny on DVD.
Oh, yo! I keep hearing like Jason Mantzoukas on How Did This Get Made swears by that show.
Great show.
He talks about it being the best show.
They talk way too fast.
Yeah, but
it's really good.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of jokes where it's like they really took the time and wrote it, and like these actors are delivering it and stuff like that. And some of the characters are just really weird and crazy.
The goth kids, man, those goth kids are hilarious, bro.
There's a black girl that runs the bar.
She's funny,
and she's always hitting on the main dude, and it's just wild stuff she's saying. The last episode we saw her in like season 2 right now, and I think the main dude, he was trying to run for the co-op board, the head of the board and stuff. And so they do a slander campaign on
the next guy,
the main guy. And so she's in there. So like they're trying to have like a bunch of people there that are like multi-ethnic. So they could seem like, oh, hey, we got a bunch of ethnic people here. But all of her lines are like BS, like random black people stuff. And she's not even that. And then one time they're doing a pass around the round table, and she's like, hell nah. And it comes back to her again. She's hell to the nah. And my girl's like, what? And I'm like, oh my God. And she's like, what? And she's like, hell nah. Hell to the nah. They just
that's funny.
That and just gave her those lines because they don't know anything about black people.
That's so funny. That's so funny.
Wild. It was really good.
Oh, I've also been watching Murderbot on Apple.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Murderbot, based on a book series, which I didn't know. But the series is
Murderbot?
Say what?
Murder?
Murderbot? Did he tell you how he came?
Oh, how he got the name?
How he got the name?
Yeah, I mean, in the show, it's like he's like running through in 5 minutes, he's running through a few different ideas for what his name should be after he's hacked his software, and almost immediately comes up with like, I think I'm going to call myself Murderbot. And you're like, well, that's concerning.
Did the humans find out his name yet?
Not yet. No. In the series so far, I think he's about to find out who's been playing around on the other side of the planet. But other than that, the humans don't know anything's wrong with him yet.
Right. Okay.
I will say though, him not answering them sometimes because he's watching soap operas, fucking hilarious. Like this man is full on watching soap operas through his satellite feed, not listening to these people, not doing his job. Like they're talking to him, and the lady has to be like, sec unit, and I'm like, yo, can you imagine pretending like you don't hear? And he's always like, I was running diagnostics, bitch. You crazy. It's funny though, like short episodes too, because it's only like it's like a sitcom. It's like 30 minutes, which I didn't expect. I expected full episodes, like not full but longer episodes. So but I guess it is like a comedy essentially. So anyways, that's all the stuff that I wanted to mention, that because I felt like that's definitely one of the most nerdy things I could mention for the show.
Okay.
All right.
That's the whole show. That's everything we're talking about.
Get these kids out of my shoe cases out of here. Yeah, you want to not do that? All right.
This is what happens when you're a papa. The kids want to play with your toys.
And then this one's messing up my logarithm on YouTube with I don't know what. So,
is it true you can't get YouTube Kids in Quebec?
Probably not, because otherwise I have it.
Yeah, because something about advertising, someone was telling me. Anyways, I won't keep y'all too long. Guys, that was the whole show. We brought another one to you. Hopefully you guys had a good time. Anything you guys want to tell the people?
Check out Transformers Slag and the Toy Marta podcast with Aaron Archer on YouTube.
And we're going to be once again... Oh, sorry, Skinny, hit it.
And Action Figgy Skinny on YouTube. You know, follow me and all the things. I got reviews coming up every week and so on and so forth. All the toys coming in. And yeah.
Bomb. And guys, don't forget, we're going to be doing an event on June 21st at Colors. That's 4710 Saint-Ambroise. It's going to be in Unit 120. We're going to be giving you guys more info soon. And we look forward to seeing y'all there. Guys, that's the whole show. That's everything. We are out. Peace, y'all.
Peace.